Commencing transmission. Engaging scramblers. Proxy chain initialized. And now, live from his hidden base at the Earth's core, the future ruler of Earth, Doomcock.
Greetings, my friends. I am Dictor Van Doomcock, the future ruler of Earth, and yesterday, CBS released the official news that I have been waiting since 2017 to hear. Mikey Spock is not the bestest ever! It was announced yesterday that Star Trek Discovery is canceled, and this last season they shot will be its last. Now, for those of you who are new to my channel, this is something of a milestone day for me, because the entire reason I started this channel was to sound the alarm and express my disgust at Star Trek Discovery, or, as I have always called it, STD. For truly, this series is a disease that, like syphilis, damages the mind. Folks, STD is the single worst television show in history. It literally could do no right. The scripts were utter trash, the plots were ludicrous and filled with holes a particularly dim chimpanzee could have spotted whilst high on fermented berries. The dialogue was god-awful, with such cringe lines as, "This is the power of math, people," and Spock saying, "I like science." And it's hard to say which was worse, the new cardboard cutout characters who were nasty, bitter, sarcastic pieces of shit, or the legacy characters roped in from real Star Trek, which suffered every indignity imaginable under Kurtzman and Secret Hideout. What he did to Spock was unforgivable, turning him into an emotionally disturbed dyslexic with a human stepsister he never had, a stepsister who was better than he was in every way, whom Spock's parents loved much more than they loved Spock. She was a better Vulcan than he was too. It just was enough to make any true Star Trek fan puke. The pieces, a pure filth writing this Trek, introduced bigoted Vulcan terrorists into the mix, sonar in the vacuum of space to detect cloaked vessels, changed the name of the planet Vulcan to Nivar, as in true Star Trek fans will Nivar watch this stupid fuckery, and that's exactly what happened. For contractual reasons, CBS was forced to keep throwing money at this horrible show season after season. Fans refused to watch the show season after season, and when CBS finally tried giving the show away for free on their primetime main network, Star Trek Discovery Season 1 finished the season as CBS's worst-rated show for that year. That kind of failure was never sustainable, and now I thank God that our long national nightmare is nearly over. There's one last season in the bag, but after this last hurrah, Mikey Spock will no longer be boldly going where no Star Trek has gone before, namely, straight down the filthy toilet.
And yea, verily, there was much rejoicing amongst those with eyes to see and ears to hear, for lo, a reckoning has finally come to Secret Hideout for their many sins.
True, O Skull of Calderon. It was justice too long delayed, but in the end, not denied. I have always felt that these shows were not merely incompetent, they were mean-spirited and abusive, not just to Star Trek, but to fans of Star Trek. Kurtzman loved to take pieces from Star Trek lore and twist them into knots, pervert them, mutilate them into something they never were, and rub the mutilations in the faces of fans as if to say, "Hey, this is Star Trek now, bitches. Take it or leave it." Well, as the news today confirms, folks, the fans took option B on that deal. They left it. They left it in droves. And as a result, Paramount has finally pulled the plug on STD, and all I can think is thank God Almighty we are free of it at last.
I feel a sense of disgust, outrage, and alarm at this news, because good news makes you happy, and a happy Doomcock is not the kind of doomcock that pushes a certain button that frees me from this containment field and lets me destroy your universe. So don't piss down my leg and tell me that it's raining. I ain't buying it.
Ah, come on, Harvey, don't be like that. Sure, I won't be pushing the button today, but you hate STD too, and this is a triumph for all Star Trek fans that should have people dancing in the streets, so don't despair. There's a lot of woke garbage still coming out of Hollywood, Harvey, so every day brings a new outrage that could make me push the button that would free you. Don't lose heart. I know you hate STD as much as I do. Let us take this victory lap and celebrate it together.
Well, when you put it that way, I suppose you're right. Tomorrow is another day. So for now, long die STD, the worst fucking show in history. May it rot in a ditch beside a lonely country road while being shit on by vultures on X-Lax.
There, that's the spirit. My only regret in all of this is that they don't bury dead shows like they bury dead people, because I would dearly love to piss on STD's grave. But I guess you can't have everything. Still, my friends, longtime viewers know I launched this channel on October 10th, 2017 to rant about the first 4 episodes of STD Season 1. So this is something of a personal triumph for me to see this vile thing's approaching annihilation. I couldn't believe how fucking terrible this loathsome trash was. Couldn't believe what these cultural vandals were doing to my beloved Star Trek. And yet, my dismay at what I was seeing was compounded by the mainstream media coverage of this debacle. The media was lying to me, gaslighting me, praising STD as a bold new step forward for the Star Trek franchise, but to me, it was idiotic bullshit filled with canon violations and suffused with a dark, hateful tone that was completely incompatible with Gene Roddenberry's bright, optimistic future. And it continued year after year. Sources have claimed that periodically, due to the terrible ratings and extreme cost the show was racking up, CBS would try to get out of the contract. Secret Hideout and Bad Robot would sue for arbitration and win, because Les Moonves, in what appears to be a fuck you act of sabotage to Sherry Redstone, gave Secret Hideout an ironclad, irrevocable license to kill Star Trek, written in the blood of sacrificed infants on the altar of woke, and thus Star Trek's fate was sealed until the contract finally ran out. It appears that time has come. Here's what was officially announced yesterday about the cancellation. Your love for these characters and your excitement for every episode, every season, has meant the world to us. We can't wait for you to see what we've been working on for this final season. We appreciate your patience in the meantime, and trust us when we say it'll be worth the wait. We love you all. LLAP. This from Alex Kurtzman and Michelle Paradise. But Sonequa Martin Green also chimed in. The fans welcomed us into their hearts as we launched a new iteration of Trek and an entire entertainment platform. Yeah, CBS All Access, which you killed off. And we'll never forget it. 65 episodes later, here's to the entire company of Star Trek Discovery, to the show in its 5th and final season, to its beloved fans, and to all those who envisioned a better future. Let's fly. Yeah. Well, let's flies, because that's what's gathered all over Star Trek ever since these morons took it over. Now, aside from a few weeping woke snowflakes who were upset by the news, mostly the reaction was jubilation. My channel has been the prime resistance against Kurtzman's NuTrek brand of cultural vandalism, and thus its cancellation is not unlike a head mounted in my trophy room.
As a head mounted in your trophy room myself, I find that comment most offensive. You may have chopped my head off and put it in a bubble of entropy for your amusement, but my powers remain potent, and someday I shall muster enough energy to raise armies of the dead with my necromantic powers, and on that day I shall be avenged. But all that said, fuck STD, the stupidest shit show these eye sockets have ever seen.
Oh, come on, Skull of Calderon. Don't let a personal grudge ruin the joy of this day. The announced cancellation of STD is in and of itself wonderful news, but it also confirms so much of what I've told all of you about how badly Star Trek has fared under the Bad Robot and Secret Hideout license. Folks, let's be clear on the current state of Star Trek. It's a complete failure. STD was their flagship show. Paramount has been struggling to find hits for Paramount Plus, so I can tell you, if STD was a hit, it wouldn't be going away now. Paramount can't afford to let a win pass them by at this point. They're in all kinds of financial shit at the moment, but they sure can't cancel something that's been nothing but a financial fistful of fucked. My friends, clearly this means STD is, was, and always will be a failure. I am told that no Star Trek shows are currently in production, except a few months of, what else, reshoots and rewrites to try to bury the worst of the STD Season 5 cat turds in the old litter box. It's scary, isn't it? To think that they regularly do reshoots on STD damn near every season, and the sheer fucking garbage you see on your screens is the stuff that they fixed. So apparently, Secret Hideout, I am told, has studio space leased for a few more months to do some reshoots on STD Season 5, but after that, rumor has it only the seasons that are in the bank will be aired for Lower Decks and Suck New Worlds, the cooking show with the galloping gourmet himself, Captain Pike, and his pompous door. In short, the long national nightmare is drawing nigh, which brings us to Pucard Season 3. Pucard Season 3 is yet more proof of what I've been saying, that Kurtzman is on the verge of losing the license. Nothing is happening with Kurtzman Trek currently, and Pucard is their last desperate gasp, their final try to retain their hold on the license. In other words, I knew this STD cancellation was coming. It wasn't a surprise. I know Kurtzman is very close to the end, as I have been telling you all along, and it would be all over now if not for the stunt casting of the TNG cast in this last-ditch effort to gaslight desperate fans and save the license. That's why I was adamant we must not support Pucard Season 3. It doesn't matter whether it's good or bad, it's Kurtzman Trek, and Kurtzman will use that to possibly retain power over the franchise. Today's cancellation is proof that Secret Hideout is down on the mat and being counted out, and when you have your enemy pinned, you do not let them up. STD's cancellation is proof that NuTrek has been a colossal flop. The fact Kurtzman was desperate enough to hire the Next Generation cast, something he never wanted to do, and make it just a tiny bit more Trekky, demonstrates how bad things have gone for them. But my fear is, if enough people are fooled by a few member berries and stolen musical cues from actual Star Trek productions, Kurtzman will claim success at last and force Paramount to give him the license back, leverage this bit of Pucard Season 3 gaslighting to get his license renewed. And if that happens, woe be unto Star Trek. Abandon all hope, all ye who enter here, because all hope will be lost. Kurtzman will return to his old tricks. Section 31, anyone? God knows what canon desecration lies in the possible future with Kurtzman getting a license renewal, but as of right now at least, the news could not be better. And my old foe STD is lying in the dust, slowly bleeding out. But brace yourselves, my friends. Knowing their number was up, expect the worst insults to Star Trek of all in STD's final season. I will bite the bullet and report on how bad it is, but for now, let us all celebrate the demise of the worst show in history. The show that drained Star Trek's life's blood like a vicious lamprey. The show that made me so mad that I emerged from my hidden base at the center of the Earth and broadcast myself to the world. Star Trek Disgracery. Long may it rot. From the center of the Earth, this is Dictor Van Doomcock bidding you all, my friends, stay angry.